Hey, what's going on, good people? This is Gardner Douglas, and I'm your Oyster Ninja. This week we got a great show lined up for you. I'm glad you tuned back in with us. Sorry for the delay. Had a bit of technical difficulties with my microphone, but we're back online now, and I hope you enjoy the show. This week I'm interviewing Miss Jasmine Norton. She is the owner of the Urban Oyster out of Baltimore, which is a mobile raw bar. We met in Baltimore in this beautiful work of art, is what I can call it. It's called Our House, and it's right in the middle of Remington, if you're familiar with Baltimore. It's like it's described as a food hall, and it's all kinds of food there. It was a pizza place. It was a coffee place, of course, Mediterranean. It was all kinds of food. I'm pretty sure anything you could imagine, you could have got something close to it anyway, if not the exact thing. But imagine, for my DC listeners, imagine a Union Market, but more, I would say more close, but it was like a perfect fit for everybody. I mean, I could see myself, if I was in Baltimore, just coming there and working on a project or meeting up with friends for drinks. It's a bar right in the middle of the place. It's really beautiful. So if you're in Baltimore, go check out Our House. Our House. Yeah. But yeah, we had a great interview. I love the concept of her business, of course. Anything to do with oysters, I love. So I've been checking her out on social media for a while, and I was like, let's see if we can get her on the show, get that one-on-one. But yeah, a great person, great business, and I hope you guys enjoy the interview.
So my name is Jasmine. The name of the business is the Urban Oyster. We actually got started. We birthed the concept last year, but we actually didn't get started until early this April. So we did like a small little chef takeover at a restaurant, at a bistro. Actually, it's like a brunch style place. So we did it on a day that they didn't have any. On the day that they were closed. So that was like our very first time, kind of like debut into Baltimore.
Right. So how was that like going there on that days off? Like, had you already created a following, or was it like kind of depressing, or you was like surprised with the outcome?
So I'll say that in the beginning it was a lot of just friends and family that showed up. We had done, we had already established our social media platform and things like that, and in the beginning I wasn't able to do a lot of like things like to give people a platform to actually experience us because I had surgery. So a lot of it was kind of just like a visual concepts, just like cooking things and just posting the visual aspect of it. So we knew that, soon after we would have to put our money where our mouth was, essentially.
Right.
So we had that event so that we could, actually prove that, the food didn't just look good. It was actually, it tastes good as well. But surprisingly, there were some people from our social media that followed us or had begun to follow us or heard of us from our friends or family that showed up. And so, like, after that event and after we did a few festivals, after we did a pop-up here at our house, our following began to grow. And it's just, now more and more people are starting to hear about us. More and more people are starting to want to try us. Like, just this past Thanksgiving, I had a guy who was here visiting his family for Thanksgiving from New York. And, it was actually on Thanksgiving, and we weren't set to be anywhere but with our families for
Right.
Thanksgiving. And he was dying to try the oysters. So, of course, I had oysters. So,
Boom,
I made it happen for him.
Exactly.
And he was thankful and grateful and was glad that, he was able to see his family and try us out, as he anticipated during his trip. So That's what we do. We make things happen.
So he found you from social media?
Yes. He's all the way from New York. Yep.
That's a good feeling. It's a great
Absolutely.
feeling. So so I know you say you started like just getting your platform from social media, but how important has social media been to the business?
Social media has been very important because, our business is very small and very intimate, so I'd like to communicate with our following, with our consumers and things like that. And so that's the way in which, I do it. If they want to know where we're going, it's a quick response. They don't have to shuffle through a website. They don't have to, send an email, anything like that. It's just as quick as a text message. And, because I'm very huge on correspondence. Like if someone reaches out to me, we're not a super big organization where it's just some random person marketing intern that's, just running it, in their free time or whatever. Like it's me running our social media page. So you're getting me. You're getting me at the events. You're getting me from, as far as responding. And I just, it's important that we engage and we nurture our relationship with our consumers. So, it's definitely been a very necessary and important aspect of our business.
No doubt.
Social media.
That makes all the sense. So, what's your next step? I know you was talking about a food truck and other things like that.
Yeah, so we're definitely staying true to, how we got started as far as like festivals and farmers markets and things like that. That's kind of like where we were birthed, farmers markets and festivals and things like that. People look forward to seeing us all around the city. We're definitely still looking into the food truck. We may have a possible like storefront concept. We're still working out the logistics with that, but definitely the food truck is always, our original plan. So it's coming along slowly, just because, it's just me funding things like that and life in general is going on, but definitely still working towards that.
Cool. So have you tried like the, was it the GoFundMe? You had one of those or anything?
Yeah, it wasn't too successful, but, We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Easy enough. So where are you from?
I am from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised. Actually, I grew up not too far from, like maybe about 5 blocks from where we are now in East Baltimore.
Okay.
Yep. I went to an elementary school over here called Margaret Brent Elementary, which is why I love our house so much. Just because it's like, near and dear to where I grew up, where I was raised, where I ate my first oyster and clam and everything else. And then around the corner here on 29th Street, I remember growing up, there was this place called Sterling's, which is now occupied by a company called Black Sauce Kitchen. And they had like some of the best codfish cakes ever. And that's something that we have on our menu as well. Just to kind of pay homage to my grandmother, who is still living, but, I wanted her legacy to begin while she still, experience it and witness it. So when we come to our house, like Cardi's and stuff like that is like a big deal, because Sterling's is no longer in the neighborhood. So, they look forward to getting it from us and things like that. And then from a personal standpoint, our house is near and dear to me because this is one of the first places where they did give us a chance, and it's not far from where I grew up. So
right.
Everything that has like a sentimental story as far as the business is concerned. It's nothing that we do that doesn't have any meaning or story or just because.
Right. So do people ever make that link like, hey, when I was growing up, it was this place called Sterling's and they had this,
Yeah. Yep, it's a lot of older people much older than me because I think when I was younger, Sterling's, they probably had a little bit of a ride, after we moved out of the neighborhood, but they weren't here much longer after, I was, at that age where I could even remember Sterling's. But a lot of people, like my parents' age or older, when they come over to our pop-up store and here, they're always like, oh my goodness, I haven't had a Cardi. Is it good? Is it as good as Sterling's? And we're like, no disrespect to Sterling's, but it's better.
Right. So, you always get out.
Right. No disrespect. But yeah, It's super good. Like, you won't regret it.
So I know we talked about the cod sandwich.
Oh, yes, the codfish, yeah.
I know we talked about the codfish and, of course, oysters. So what types of oysters do you use, and what else is on your menu?
So, we use Bayshore brand oysters. They are wild caught and straight out of the Chesapeake Bay. We try to stay as local as possible. Just because, like, that's what our city wants. Like, I want everything and everything we do to be a reflection of, our love for our bay, to contribute to it, to help with the sustainability of it, and the sustainability of the farms and the organizations and even the distributors that, depend on local businesses and, help us sustain as well. It's a give and take relationship. So, we're not using Cisco and, whatever else there is, U.S. food and all of that stuff. Like, we're using homegrown businesses that's been in the family for 80 years because that's what we aspire to do as well. So if we, look out for one another and take care of one another, then we can all stay afloat. So,
right.
We use local oysters. They're nice and plump and huge, and they're fresh. They're not super briny. And I don't know. I love them. Like, we don't have like a million different types that we use just because like our whole concept is char grill. So, once we do get like a brick and mortar or something a little bit more stable where we can house that much,
right.
We'll look into some other types and taste palettes and stuff like that. But, so far everybody loves, the brand that we use and stuff like that. As far as other items on our menu, we have crab cakes, of course. We do oyster tacos, which is our version of a po' boy in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it has it's fried oysters on a soft shell, flour tortilla. I use flour tortilla because I like corn, but I feel like it overpowers the content in the inside of
right.
it. And so we use apple slaw, which has like Honey Crisp apple. And it's like apple cider vinegar and honey based mixture that we toss it in, and then we put remoulade on it. So that's got that sweet and savory, balance. Everybody loves our oyster tacos. And what else do we have? We did shrimp baskets. And the shrimp baskets, we just did that just so we could. We were doing a festival in a nearby park. It's like one of the African American festivals that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just wanted to do something that was quick so we could give quick service because we knew we were to expect thousands of people. And it's like ever since we put that on the menu for that one event, like we just can't get rid of it.
Right.
But I think that people like, first of all, like the size of them are like not normal. Like they're decent, very well-sized shrimp. It's not heavily battered. Like, it's lightly battered. We make our batter fresh. We're not using Zatarans or nothing you can buy from Sam's Club, Restaurant Depot, or anything like that. Like, we make it ourselves. And I think they just appreciate, like, the quality of food. Like, nothing is pre-made, or anything like that. Like, we're tossing it in front of you. You see the batter, like, all of that good stuff. So, that's what's important to me. Like, I want to give you what I'm going to eat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to eat super heavily battered, something that's pre-made or anything like that. Like, I want to taste the love that you put into your food. So that's what is important to us.
Right.
So, what else do we have on our menu? And then the codfish, yeah.
Okay.
So we try to keep the menu, between 5 and 6 items, just to keep, again, with that concept of us being mobile and things like that. Like, when you go and see other truck menus or food truck menus, like, they don't have a million items on there. They have 5 or 6 strong items.
Exactly, yep.
And they keep it, simple. But we are getting ready to gear up to start a campaign to get our social media followers to help us create a new flavor for our char grilled oysters.
Oh, snap.
So we'll probably do that starting next month. And so we'll pick the concept and the recipe. So they'll have to basically tell us the flavor, give us the recipe. We'll test it out, or we'll see which one sounds like the best, and we'll name it after them. And so we'll do it for the whole year, and that'll be the flavor for the year that adds to the 3 that we already had, and we'll name it after whoever came up, or whoever we chose to came up with the best flavor, just to keep with the tradition, or just to keep with the idea of us and our having a relationship, and like I said, nurturing that relationship and letting them know that we want you to be a part of our growth and what we're doing. And I think it would be cool to be, you know, to have something interactive while we're kind of like in this slow period. So we're just kind of like festering up for next year.
Right.
So,
so you spoke about, what are the other 3 flavors that you have?
So currently we have 3 flavors. It's bacon barbecue cheddar, which is literally what it sounds like. Bacon barbecue cheddar. We have cheese Louise, which is a blend of mozzarella, parmesan, and lemon garlic butter and parsley garnish. And then the third one is teriyaki with teriyaki sauce, crushed pineapple, scallions, and wonton crisp. So that's what we have right now. So for the fourth one, like I said, we'll run a contest for our followers to come up with a flavor. And it's got to be cool, the name, because we like cool names, and catchy things.
Yeah.
And also they'll have to give us the recipe, and we'll pick which one sounds good to us, and we'll name it after it.
No doubt. So my next question is, why didn't you bring any? I mean, come on now, sell me.
You're right. You know, I just got off a plane like from New Orleans. You know, it was important to me to go and visit and experience what we kind of model our business off of. Another reason why we kind of model our business after the whole tradition of char grilled oysters, which is where it comes from, New Orleans, is because, you know, a lot of people have this misconception that they don't like oysters. You know what I mean? And it's like I mentioned in several other podcasts that we do, like saying that you don't like something, whether it's food or whatever else, is because you know, you may have had a bad experience, or you may have never experienced, or as far as food, it could just be the way it was prepared, you know? Like, you can't just say you don't like eggs because you don't like them over easy. Like, you just don't like them that way. So, you know, we did char grill to kind of help encourage people to give it a try and it to be more approachable in having toppings and things like that people like cheese and bacon. Like, who doesn't like those things? So, you know, we thought that doing it that way would give people, you know, that would maybe make them more inclined to give it a try. So, and it has definitely worked. I have a friend named Alana, and she known each other since teenagers, and she doesn't even like oysters. And her house, she comes like every other day, and so does her husband.
Right.
So, I don't know the satisfaction I get from it. So, but next time I got you.
All right, I will hold you to it, no doubt. So, what's your favorite? What's your favorite out of the 3? Or
my favorite. So I'll be honest.
Okay.
My favorite is the bacon barbecue cheddar. The reason why I'm saying I'll best is because I don't eat meat.
Oh snap! You just changed the game up.
I don't eat meat. I'm pescatarian. I changed my diet for health reasons. I, you know, wanted to see if losing some weight would help me with my asthma. But you know, every now and then, I indulge in the bacon barbecue cheddar because those are my favorite. Even though I don't eat meat, yeah, I know someone might consider me to be phony, but it's
right,
what it is.
So I gotta say, how's that weight loss and the whole asthma thing going? Cause
it's going really well.
Cause I got asthma, I need some help.
It's going well. It's going well. I mean, I don't know if it's the meat, but I can say that this year has been better than years prior. Right now, I would be coughing up a storm and probably wouldn't even be able to do this. So, I stopped my medication. I wanted to kind of wean myself out from the medication and just change my diet. So, it's been going well, though.
Okay, cool. I got my inhaler just in case. Just throwing it out there. I know you're good. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh, no, I have an inhaler. I just don't take the daily stuff.
Right. So, when did you start eating oysters?
So,
or do you remember your first oyster? How about
that? I remember my first oyster.
Let's hear it.
I had oysters and clams, and I would say I was probably about 7, and I remember my dad trying to convince me that they were good, because they didn't look good. Nobody thinks they look good, and I think that's one of the issues, the look of it. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, beef stew doesn't look good to me, but it's good. Like, it's just aesthetically, like, it doesn't look good.
Right.
So, like, he called himself, like, just dousing it with, like, lots of hot sauce and lemon and whatever else he could find, Old Bay. And he's like, try it, I'm telling you. So, It was actually good, and I liked it better than clams because I felt like the clam was a little bit salty.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, like, from that point on, just wanting to, you know, just have it all the time. But I didn't, like, learn how to shuck until I was much older. Or actually when I was looking to start the business. Cause I just wanted to eat them. I wasn't interested in shucking them. But yeah, that's when I had my first oyster, like around 7 years old. I remember eating them off of like a hefty paper plate,
right, with
lots of crystal hot sauce,
right,
and lemon.
Oh man, crystals, love crystals.
Yeah, I had a lot of that in New Orleans. Lots.
No doubt. So how hard was it to actually start the business? Was it a hard process?
I'm not going to say was, because, I mean, to me, I feel like I'm still starting. I'm still in my first year. I will say that has been quite an experience. The hard part is actually, I would say now, I would say the hard part is always going to be up and down, you know, especially in your first year or your first couple of years, to be honest. So I'll say in the beginning, what made it hard was the fact that I, like, mobile wise, I couldn't really do anything because I had just had surgery, and so I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't move. I couldn't go. I wasn't even supposed to go up and down the steps, and I totally just disobeyed my doctor's orders.
Right.
And, you know, I had to do what I had to do. I had all this free time on my hands. I was, medical leave from work and things like that. I had to make use of my time. One thing I don't like to do is stay still and not be productive.
Yes, jinx.
One thing I can do, I mean, honestly, like a few weeks ago, I didn't have any events or anything to do, and I was like in a mood, like in a real bad mood, because I like being busy. I like doing things. I just feel like I'm at a standstill or I'm stagnant if I'm not doing something, to invest or pour into my business and to my dream. It kills me. And I don't know if you ever seen that meme and say, like, behind every successful girl or person is a group text message, like cheering you up or whatever. Like, that was my group came through because I was really having a moment, just because I was sitting still and it was like too many days had gone by and I was just like, I just don't like this.
Right.
I don't like this. So mentally it's hard, financially it's hard, physically it's hard, but I mean, I'd rather go through it, and invest and bet on myself than anybody else. You know what I mean? I've worked hard for people. I've sweat. I've lost weight. I've physically, financially been, in tight spots, even with a job that I went to every day. So it just feels different, to know that I'm doing it for me and I'm watching the manifestation of a dream and, a business that's for me. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to cry, if I'm going to financially struggle, if I'm going to be mentally, in spaces sometimes, I'd rather it be for me. Right. Than for someone else that doesn't know my name. Someone else that, that is not going to send me flowers when I had surgery, all of those things. Wow, that doesn't make sense.
I kind of feel like you're like singing a song. I can hear the music going behind me.
It like, just sing doesn't make sense. So, I don't know, that time I had on medical leave, it was just like stuff just started not making sense to me, and I was like, it's time to like take that leap. I mean, in the process, it's been hard, it's been great, it's been amazing, it's been all types of feelings. It's an emotional roller coaster for sure, but it's definitely where I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
So. No doubt, gotta love your own. So coming up with the name, the Urban Oyster, was that easy? Or did you like go through like a whole bunch of trial and errors?
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't hard. I don't know. I just know I always wanted it to be something memorable. So, I did write it down on a few post-it notes and things like that. I had a friend of mine who, I was living in New York at the time when I was like birthing this whole concept or whatever. I had hopped from state to state, from position to position with my job and stuff like that. And, I finally had gotten so uncomfortable with this job that I was like, okay, it's time. So I started planning and making all of these decisions, and I had a notebook, which I still have in my car right now, about what this was going to be about. I originally planned to start my job, the business in New York, because that's where I was living. So, I started like shopping around and just like kind of like researching in New York. And I knew the most important thing for me was that I didn't want my restaurant or the business to be intimidating. I didn't want it to be unwelcoming. I wanted anybody, kids, children, elderly, people my age, anybody who wants to eat or indulge or support us, I wanted them to feel welcome. So the first thing that was taken out of the equation was pretentious. I didn't want anything to be pretentious. I had been around it for 6 years, working in 5-star hotels. Like, I had had enough of that. I like fancy things. I like nice things. But when it comes to where I eat, like, it doesn't have to be a show. Like, right. I'm not at a play. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just coming to eat good food, and I shouldn't have to dress in a cocktail dress for that. And so, a lot of people, like, that don't make or break their decision. So, that's where the urban whole idea came from. Like, it's relaxed, it's chill. You can come dress like me with your knees cut out in your jeans, like, however you feeling. Because that's not what it's about. You come in here, and I'm supposed to be rendering an experience and a service to you. Like, you shouldn't be required to look a certain way.
Right.
And we maybe should be, but you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Consider it a church. Like, come as you are.
Right.
So, urban was important because I wanted it to immediately give you the idea that this is a chill environment. Like, whatever walk of life, whatever you do, if you're a lawyer, if you're a school teacher, if you're a college kid, like, come. So, and not to mention, another reason why urban was an important word for the business was because of how we prepare the oysters. Like, it's not like your traditional old style classic raw bar. Like, yes, we do raw oysters and we do serve them and things like that, but our whole idea was to contribute to people being more inclined to try them, in which we have totally, like, taken out all of the classical elements out of it, and we are grilling them. Anything grilled is, whether it's brisket or a hot dog or anything, like, any fanciness of it is just taken out. So, that was pretty much, like, how the whole idea came about. Just, it's being a relaxed environment, and the fact that it's char grill is, like, our oysters are different. Like, it's flavors, like wings, like, like a wing spot, like, where you can go and get bacon and cheddar and barbecue on a wing. Now you get it on oysters. So, yes, it's urban.
Look, I just want to stop you right there, because I don't want you to give your ideas. You just had $1 million idea. Instead of the wing stop, we're going to have the oyster stop, and we're going to have, like, every flavor. Look, we're going to go in. I might have to edit that out. Oh, my gracious. I'll put some money up. So, how many oyster virginities have you took?
Oh.
Ooh. Too many to count.
Probably. I would say yes. Because the thing is, like, you kind of, like, get them with the look of them. So a lot of people are like, I don't like, if you're just reading it from the menu. And so I would, like, pull some off the grill that's sitting waiting for someone to order, and they're, like, bubbling and sizzling. I'm like, look, you don't have to pay for it. Just try it. Let me know. Let me know what you think. It won't hurt you to try one. It's fully cooked. It's got this, and this on it. Like, just let me know. I just want to know what you think. If it's something you think I should do differently, think I should add, take away, I just wanted your feedback. And that's just like how we get, like, how it starts. Like, just try it. And they're like, all right, I'll take an order. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
I told you, like, just give it a try. I promise you, like, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. So, yeah, like, sometimes you just just gotta see it or just like charm them with the taste of it and the look of it, fresh off the grill, just bubbling and all of that good stuff. So, or sometimes we'll just like make a display of them, like when we're out at a festival and people are like just intrigued by either our grill or the display, and you know they'll even try it just because they're like, "What, oysters on a grill? What?"
Yeah.
Like to see us outside doing that, and that's another thing. Like why we kind of don't like being cramped up like in a kitchen. We like being outside and things like that. Like the grill is like an altar for us. Like whether it's me at the grill or my dad, like people, no matter how kind of invasive it may be that you're just stepping over to this hot grill, like it's like a good and a bad thing because we don't want you to get hurt, but we enjoy talking to, you know, people and, you know, them trying to invade in our space and just wanting to know more about it. Like that's the whole point of why we're out here. Like we want you to be intrigued. We want you to be interested. So.
No doubt. What's your favorite festival that you've done?
Okay, so I'll say Artscape was my favorite just because we were able to touch more people, but we were a little kind of caged in to me. So I would say we just did the Fells Point Fun Festival back in September, I believe. That one was really cool because so we also did a Fells Point Farmers Market, and we had this couple who like follows us wherever, and like if we're in the vicinity of Fells Point, they're gonna be there. And there was so many people who, you know, like had heard of us, had seen us somewhere on social media or whatever, and it allowed us to be able to speak to them more and talk to them and all of that good stuff. Again, coming up to the altar / grill.
Right.
So it was a little more open for us to talk. And I'm not a talkative person at all, but, you know, when it comes to the business and, you know, talking about our product, like, I can go on and on. And so I enjoy, you know, speaking with people and things like that. So I think for me, it was the Fells Point Festival. Because of that, of course, Artscape was profitable because it's like thousands and thousands of people, probably like 20,000 people or more. Right. But we were a little bit more tucked in, so we couldn't like go out, or it wasn't any freedom for them to kind of come up to us and things like that. So, but yeah, it's been cool, and I enjoy festivals. This is why we're definitely going to try and get some more in our books for 2018.
Cool. What do you think is your biggest accomplishment thus far?
I think my biggest accomplishment is just the relationships. Honestly, just the relationships that I've developed from other business owners, the relationships that I've developed from, you know, our customers and things like that. I mean, for instance, when I was in New Orleans, my customers, they have my cell phone number, so they're looking for me at this event that we just did on Saturday at the Columbus, and they're like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm in New Orleans." Like, I appreciate that, you know, the fact that, you know, who can text the owner of any restaurant and be like, "Where are you?" You know what I mean? Like, I never want to, even as we grow, I never want anyone, and I always pray to God that He keeps me humble as I grow and as I, you know, succeed, and, you know, as we get larger. I appreciate, you know, like my customers texting me and reaching out to me and, you know, things like that. And you know, sometimes you know, I might see them at a restaurant when I'm off or something like that, and we hang out and have drinks and stuff like that. And I even met out with one of them when we both happened to be in Florida at the same time this past August. So just the relationships for me that I feel like is successful because, you know, they are what keeps us sustained. You know, the word of mouth, them speaking highly of us and things like that. Like, it's the relationships, like I said, I believe that a lot of opportunities probably wouldn't have been afforded to us if it wasn't for the close connection we had with, you know, our customers, with other, you know, restaurateurs in the industry and things like that. So that's the biggest accomplishment to me, is the relationships I've developed.
Have you ever served any famous people?
Famous
like,
people?
Hey, let's take a selfie with my oysters. You know?
no famous people. I've served very well known clergymen in Baltimore named Dr. Walter Scott Thomas. He is the pastor of New Psalmist Baptist Church. His entire congregation, or most of it, very, very much love us, and that was one of the reasons how we were able to do their homecoming, because of our relationship, with them. We were able to do their homecoming, so we served him. I recently served the CFO for Founding Farmers
Nice.
here in our house, actually. That's all I can remember right now, but hopefully we'll get some more people under the ropes.
No doubt.
We've served the owner of our house plenty of times.
Look at that. Doing big things.
Yeah.
Right. I think we'll close it by just anything else you want to put out there. And, of course, your social media. How can people find you?
Okay, cool. So what do I want to put out there? So, of course, we do Raw Bar on Thursday nights at our house. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Also, we'll be doing a pop-up for a week at our house from February 12th to the 18th. And additionally, we'll be doing a weekly pop-up at Truffle Butter Bistro in Towson, Maryland on Monday nights from 5 to 10. And we'll have all that information on our social media. So Instagram is at The Urban Oyster, and Facebook is The Urban Oyster. Follow us, and we always communicate where we're going to be, all that good stuff.
Don't you want to give out yourself so people can... Nah, just joking. Just joking. Hey, where are you?
Right.
No doubt. Well, I just want to say thank you for letting me interview you. I hope I didn't do too bad. I mean,
absolutely not.
I know you're rolling with the big dogs these days.
Not at all.
But thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I really
Any
appreciate
opportunity, I'm given to, spread the word about what we're doing. I'm always up for it. So thank you as well.
All right.
All right, good people. I hope you enjoyed that just as much as I did. Again, I want to thank the Urban Oyster for letting me interview her. I know she had just got back from vacation. So thanks for taking your time out and doing that. I want to thank all the listeners again for downloading, subscribing, following us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at the Oyster Ninja PC. You can email me at oysterninjapc@gmail.com. We got the Facebook page going now, the Oyster Ninja Podcast. Reach out to us if you want to hear something in particular on our show. Let us know. If you want to do a call in, I have the phone numbers listed on the pages, and you can do a call in. If you want to come on the show, get interviewed by moi. Let me know. I'm here for you. Also, next week we got some good stuff coming up. Got a couple great interviews lined up for future shows. And just stay tuned. And again, thank you.